Hello, peeps. Um, so we're going over the Aztec software interdisciplinary study material. We're doing mathematics. Currently, we're doing shapes, and we're on the section for triangles. We just learned a few tidbits. So we have how to find a perimeter of a triangle, adding all three sides, or the lengths of the three sides. And also, if you have an equilateral triangle that all three sides, as well as all three angles opposite those sides, are equal. So and there's a rule that all the three angles of a triangle must add up to 180. So in an equilateral triangle, each angle is 60 degrees. So 180 divided by 3. In an isosceles triangle, you have two sides being the same, the third being different. So two of the lengths of the sides are identical, and the angles opposite these sides, which are called base angles, are also identical to one another. The base is the line connecting the base angles, and this is the third side, which is not identical to the other two of the isosceles triangle. And the vertex angle is the third angle, which is opposite the base, which is different from the other two identical or base angles. So if you know one base angle, knowing the second is identical, you can find the vertex or the third non-identical angle. If you know one side, you can obviously find the second side. They haven't really mentioned finding the third side or the base side. That stuff involves the Pythagorean theorem, which we'll learn later, using the rule for right angles, right triangles, and using the formula a squared plus b squared equals c squared, which is the Pythagorean theorem. So then you got all that information based. Okay, the third type of triangle is called the scaling triangle. The scaling triangle makes really no sense at all. All the three sides are all different measurements or lengths, so it's really random. So one example would be if one side is 28 length units and the other side is 15, the other side is 23. So all three are different. You could find the perimeter by just adding the three sides and getting 66 units. Other than that, at this point, you couldn't really figure out the angles or anything unless you were given some piece of information other than what's given here, which is just the side lengths. But the next section is area. Area is finding the two-dimensional units, or the measurement for that angle in 2 dimensions. So including height and the base, not just the sides or the side lengths. So you're going to be multiplying the height of the triangle, which is the highest point of that triangle, where you're going to connect what you're gonna do is you have the longest side of the triangle, so you're gonna make a right angle at that perpendicular to the longest side of the triangle, and this is gonna be connecting to the opposite angle, and this is the height of that triangle. So whatever the height is, you multiply that by the length of the longest side, which is also called a base, and you divide by 2. And this is how you're going to find the area of that particular triangle. And your answer, being an area, is going to be in square units. So units, whatever units it's going to be to the second power. So since it's 2 dimensions. So like if the triangle is side A, B, and C, B is the longest side, and the height is the line connecting at a perpendicular angle from B to the opposite angle. You're going to have A equals B times H over 2. Base times height over 2. So the height and the base are perpendicular, marked by a square indicating the right angle formed at the point where they meet. From the top corner down to the point of the right angle on the base, which is the longest side. So if you have that formula, you can find the area of a triangle. So you must be given some sort of information. So for one triangle we got here, the height is 6, the base is 13. They also give the lengths of the other two sides, which are irrelevant for us for the formula, so we don't really use them. So base is 13 times 6 divided by 2 is going to give us 78 over 2 equals 39 units squared is the area. For another triangle, we have base being 19, height is 11, which is the length from at a right angle up to the corner of the top, the opposite angle, opposite the base, divided by 2. 2 gives 209 over 2, which is equal to 104.5 units squared for the area. And another one, we have base is 26, height is 20. You multiply 26 times 20 over 2 is 520 over 2 is 260 units squared is the area. Another one, base is 21, height is 7, divide by 2, so you get 147, which is the product of 21 times 7 over 2 equals 73.5 units squared. That's how you find area. Obviously, we did perimeter is adding all the sides. If you have base is 8, height is 5, you go 8 times 5 over 2 is 40 over 2 equals 20 units squared. Another one, 15 base, 4 height, 15 times 4 over 2 is 30 units squared. So again, summary types of triangles are equilateral, they're isosceles and scalene. So, and also right triangles. So again, all the angles of a triangle add up to 180. So angle A plus angle B plus angle C equals 180 degrees is the sum of all angles. The angles are usually named with a capital letter. So use the angle sign and the capital letter of that point indicating the angle. So if you have one angle 95, then another one 55, the other one maybe 30, that adds up to 180. You're given one being 44, the other one 57. The third is going to be 180 minus the other two angles, which gives you 79. So this is how you find the third angle. So in equilateral triangles, all 3 sides and angles measure exactly the same. Isosceles triangles, 2 sides and 2 angles, which are opposite those 2 sides, are exactly the same. Scalene triangle, all 3 sides have different measurements. And a right triangle has one angle being 90 degrees, made of 2 perpendicular sides, which are called height and base. So the side that is across from the right angle or the 90-degree angle is called the hypotenuse, which is the longest side of the right triangle. So area is base times height over 2 for triangles, and your answer is going to be in units squared. Perimeter is just the 3 sides added together. Your answer is just units. It's just in one dimension. And you can use the Pythagorean theorem for right triangles to find using a squared plus b squared equals c squared. per side.